Thank you for choosing the Fairweather Podcast. It's your boy 2K Swami. I'm joined with A-Rod. A-Rod thinks I forgot the name of the show. I mean, it is what it is. What's going on? What's going on?
That's new. I like that. Thank you for choosing the Fairweather Podcast.
Yeah, it's like a work call. I'm clocking in right now. And when the camera says action, I'm clocked in. I'm checked in. I'm ready to dominate today.
Lose the tie.
First and foremost, check out the shirt. Heisman winner, Devontae Smith. I'm wearing this at an Alabama USF game because it got green on it. But you know why I'm there.
To watch a slaughter, that's why.
Roll Tide. Anyway, what you got going on, man? What's some crazy, wacky, or, whatever things you've seen in the last week or so?
One, we survived a hurricane, so
yeah, that was a slurricane.
Yeah, it was a joke. But the craziest thing I've seen, and that's why I'm wearing this Angels hat today, is
outside of the fact that they beat the Phillies today. Shout out to Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, it sucks to suck. But they decided to make a playoff push, grab a lot of players: Lucas Giolito, Naldo Lopez from the White Sox, Randall Gerchick from the Rockies, and as of yesterday, they decided to cut all these guys because they're far down in playoff contention. So, craziest thing I've ever seen, because usually when you make a playoff push and you get players, you keep them. You
ride it out.
But the only thing that I can allude this to is that they're doing anything and everything they can to shed the payroll so that when Shohei Ohtani's up to pay, they don't let him go. So that's
$750 million.
Gonna be a
PJ, a penthouse suite, a new Rolls Royce with his initials engraved in the grill.
Yeah, the crazy thing about it, though, I know that's the money that's we think that he'll get, but I don't see him as that type of person. I see him as the type of person that'll want to win, and I could see him staying with the Angels only for the fact that you're playing with the second or the best or second best player, if you want to carve it up, player in baseball. But
who's hurt 65 games a year. He's on the wrong side of his prime.
Hey, Ohtani's hurt too right now too. So.
And then he's gonna realize I'm overused, so I can't be the real Ohtani. And that was my fear when he first got into the league. I was like, bro, this can't last that long. This is hard to do. It's incredible while it's happening, but there's no way this is going to sustain. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with him next year, but if he comes back to them. But
what's yours?
Yo, so y'all remember that referee Eric Lewis? Remember Patrick Beverly pulled out the camera and showed it to him. So he's been accused of being a Boston Celtic fan. He has a burner account that he got caught with. He got put off of some playoff games because they were investigating him. The man retired today. Out of the blue, retired. They found some shit on him, and he said, "Listen, if this was David Stern, man, David Stern is mob, so he probably would have kept it quiet. Adam Silver, I don't know what he's gonna do with that information." Because when Tim Donaghy got fired, you gotta understand there was a lot more refs that were involved. But David Stern's like, no. My league is not gonna be involved with this shit. And he put an end to all of that. Adam Silver, he's got a heart, man. He might want to let the people know that, LeBron James has been cheated out of, maybe 4 more MVPs and a couple more championships. Who knows? But yeah, that's the craziest thing I've seen. I'm like, damn, man. That's the fact that he retired. Something was up.
I wonder if he was. When we were doing the podcast during the playoffs, and the Heat were up 3-1 or whatever it was, or we have no chance. I wonder if he was officiating any of those games.
I don't know. It's the two hot names has been him and Scott Foster. Yeah, Scott Foster's the one that's brought up all the time.
Scott Foster got to go though. He's
under the payroll. He's brought in to extend the series. You know what I mean? We need a game. Adam Silver's like, yo, we need a game 7. So
I says I'm there. I'm there. Don't worry.
Don't do your thing. Yeah, man, it's shady. It's like you've seen those NFL commercials with the script. First of all,
that shit was great. By
for
the
them
way,
to just own that's fantastic. They took advantage of that whole thing and made it. They're about to profit a lot off of that. So kudos to the NFL for that. But hey, the script is being written somewhere, bro. The script is being written.
Has to be, but that was a genius market campaign.
Oh my, that's perfect. And they put the right players in it. They put the right, what was a Key and Peele dude? Like they put the right pieces in it. Jalen Ramsey is just it's perfect. It's been wow, chef's kiss. Definitely better than Untold. I'm still mad about the Swamp Kings. Though I'll watch those commercials over Swamp Kings any day of my life now. Like I'm still mad that they didn't show nothing that I needed to see.
So I watched it the other day, and I agree with you. It was just basically a documentary on Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow, but they alluded to other players too.
That's the problem.
I know. I wanted more. I wanted so much more.
Bro, they just touched on it. Do you know how much shit was going on, bro? It was a lot of shit. And you know how like New York City, Miami, when they did their 30 for 30, they really went and documented it properly. That's how they did 2 parts, and they really got into there. Johnny Manziel, we saw them get into there.
Yeah, Johnny was
Manti Te'o, bro. Manti Te'o, we found out some shit we never even knew about. University of Florida, they just touched this, touched that, and then okay, that's it. Sprinkle a little bit of this.
They try to make and I know we're so off topic as we always get, but
hey, it's part of the crazy wacky things.
It is. I think with the whole Urban Meyer thing, like they try to make him like a patron saint, like he's a good dude type of thing. I'm like, dude, this guy's POS, man. I'm
gonna be honest. When I was listening to some of his coaching in the beginning, I was like, I looked at my girl, I was like, I'll run through a wall for that man right now. Like he got me pumped. Him and Tebow got me pumped. I was like, bruh, I was in my couch, very comfortable. And I'm like, bruh, the way Tebow and Urban Meyer are talking in this episode, I'm about to get out of this couch and just put on some pads and let's go. So you got to give it to him. He got the best out of his players.
They did. He did get the best out of him. He demanded the best. And it was crazy. I wouldn't think Tebow would even stand for shit like that, to be honest with you. I was just like, this cookie cutter motherfucker doesn't want it.
But he's God in football. And sometimes, football just come before God for a lot of these people. So got to win the football games. You know what I mean? So it's that Southern shit. I just came back from Texas this past weekend, and high school football is underway. Bro, you would think it was homecoming for USF or for a bigger school, like an HBCU homecoming. I was like, damn, it's just the first week of high school football. Bro, football in Houston high school football specifically. In Houston, can't tell them nothing. Can't tell them nothing. But all right, let's round the ship. Let's come back to the NFL. We are concluding our NFL previews, division by division, today with the NFC and AFC West. The West is it has a lot of shit going on both sides. Like, to me, out of all the divisions, the West got a lot of shit going on, and the East got a lot of shit going on. With now y'all are the talk of the town. The Patriots are always going to be discussed. The Dolphins are, Miami, and who else? Oh, Buffalo. They got Josh Allen. Ooh. And then for us, we got Jalen Hurts. He's on the top of the world. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are always going to be on TV. The Washington, whatever the football team name is Washington. And then you got the Giants with Daniel Jones' old bum ass. So, to me, the West and the East are very, very intriguing this year. So I want to start with the NFC. And I think we alluded to it earlier about Trey Lance. Trey Lance was traded. He was demoted to third string behind Sam Darnold, A-Rod boy, behind Sam Darnold, and of course, Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy. And he said, "Look, if I ain't gonna be a second string, at least just trade me." And Jerry Jones, who also said this week, "Yeah, I wanted to draft Jalen Hurts." Y'all do know that Jalen Hurts was drafted after Dak Prescott. And then for him to go get Trey Lance and not even tell nobody, bro, I don't know what he's trying to say, but I think he's done with him, bro. Like he don't, bro. He just, and the fact that it was only for a 4th-round pick. If you look at the amount of shit that San Francisco missed out on, not to mention the 3 first-round picks they gave up. But I'm just looking at some of the players that were. I mean, Justin Fields. We're talking about quarterbacks that were drafted after him: Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn. You know what I mean? Like Justin Fields, Patrick Surtain, like Michael Parsons. They missed out on so much, all for nothing. They still were going to get Brock Purdy anyway. Like that wouldn't have changed because it was Mr. Irrelevant. It's not like that pick came from some magical, trade or something. So, boy, what? Obviously, they're going to still be considered Super Bowl champs, right? But what I want to know is, A, your thoughts on that Trey Lance, situation and what it means for them, and B, are the 49ers a well-ran organization, or I mean, they are historically, but are they doing well right now?
So I think if we take a look at the organization, how they're ran, I think they're ran well. I think the Trey Lance thing is just very unfortunate because Brock Purdy just jumped out of nowhere. Okay. Nobody expects Mr. Irrelevant, the very last person to get drafted, to ever make the team. There's a handful of them, yes, but even at that, a quarterback to make a team. That's
the kicker, punter.
Yeah, defensive back, something like that, like down on the
long
depth.
Snapper.
What I preach all the time is character, and the kid must have had great character coming into it and shown leadership skills, and that's what they need. What sucks about the whole Trey Lance situation for me, and I was listening to Dan Orlovsky talk about it, and it made more sense to me that they kind of wasted his time a little bit, drafting him, because he said like prime quarterback years for like learning, not like play, but learning is like 17 to 21. You're starting to understand the fundamentals. You're starting to understand like I need to like drop back and throw, or like, oh, there's a D-line guy, I need to get it to out of the pocket quick. I need to run here. Like you learn that at that age is when you start to learn. When you get to the NFL, it's a short window to start. You're probably behind somebody, you're learning, but you're learning as you go, and then you get thrown into the fire and you'll on the job training type of stuff at a young age. Now, he didn't get to experience any of that. I mean, he did. They told him you're the starting quarterback, and then he went out there and tore his ACL or whatever it was, and he couldn't play. So Brock Purdy entered, and the rest is history after that.
I think the ACL, that's the thing. It was like a short-term injury that he ended up losing his job. Remember when Jameis Winston was like doing pretty well, and then he got hurt and never got his job back? It's the same thing.
Yeah. So
right the hot hand.
It's unfortunate. I don't think that it hampers the 49ers front office. I think they're a well-run organization, because I remember them saying, we want to keep him. We want him to stay here. As I would want to keep him too, because if Brock Purdy, now we have film on him. We know what type of player he is. Before we had nothing. It was a beautiful story to see. Last pick to a starter and possibly going to the Super Bowl. And now you have Sam Darnold, which, I don't have a love affair with the guy anymore. He's
that's your boy, though. That's your boy. You defend him more than anybody I know.
He was, but that's because we fucked him over. But he's a serviceable guy, and he's a good leader. He's a good leader. That's what he brings to the table.
Derek Carr.
But the 49ers don't need a great quarterback. They just need a guy to make the right plays, and the offense will do its own. And I think he'd be a serviceable backup. But with Trey Lance, it's just unfortunate. And I think he was the one that was like, I want to leave. I want an opportunity where I'm going to at least be the backup.
Yeah, he wasn't going to play.
What sucks for Dallas getting him, though, apparently they didn't let McCarthy or Dak know that they were getting him.
Yeah.
So it's like blindsided.
Good job, Jerry.
Now you got to look at it two ways. Like Dak could be on a very short lease. Dan said
Trey's not ready, though.
No, I know that. Dan said that it's no threat to Dak. However, it's a disservice to the franchise not saying, hey, we're trading for this guy. So
I think it's a do or die year for Dak. Like, I think he has 2 years left on his deal.
I feel like every year's a do or die.
But no, I think now, because Jerry Jones, look, what he likes quarterbacks. He wanted to draft Johnny Manziel, and he was mad that he didn't. He
likes white boys. He likes white boys.
He wanted to draft Jalen Hurts. He was mad that he didn't. He likes those mobile quarterbacks that make the game exciting. You got to remember, he's a showman. Like, he's a Southern showman, and he has that big ass stadium. And this, I mean, shit. I've been outside of that stadium. That shit is human. It's a monument, right? And he wants to show on the field. Like, he had Emmitt Smith. He had, Michael Irvin doing coke. He had Troy Aikman. He had Deion Sanders for a little bit.
Everybody, bro. We know.
You know what I mean? Even Terrell Owens, right? So he wants to have the flash, right? Dak Prescott's not flash. He's, a little old. Where is he from? Like South Texas or I don't know. He's real lame. His name is Rain Dakota. I'm sorry. So, and then you got Trey Lance, who he's a name in the lights every single day. And he's the style of quarterback that he's been looking for. So I think that the expectation for the Cowboys this year, they need to win, get into the NFC Championship game. If they get to the NFC Championship game, people can keep their jobs. Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott included, because to me they're connected at the hip. The moment some bullshit happened, they all gone. And they all coming to San Francisco. Because think about it. They can't beat San Francisco. In a playoff game. They can't beat us. I don't think so. And those are the only 2 teams they need to beat to get to where they want to get to.
All right, let's not go down the rabbit hole on Cowboys. We know.
No, I'm just talking. Oh yeah, you're right.
We're doing it.
What they do to me?
We're doing it.
You see what they do to me? I was trying to stop. And I was like, I kept going.
Make you mad. Don't make you mad.
They get me amped up.
Stick with San Fran.
The 49ers. Brock Purdy. I mean, he looked good in preseason. I mean, obviously it's preseason, but his arm looked good. Like he didn't look hurt anymore. And it's like did he get Tommy John, or he got like a version of Tommy John?
Yeah, he got Tommy John.
That's crazy. I mean, he's like Bryce Harper. It's like, yeah, we ready, we back. So, I think obviously they're a well-ran organization, and you're right. I never really thought of it like that from your angle. Where, I mean, it's not like he really had a chance. He never got the chance to even play. So I'll give you your roses on that one, because I didn't even think about that. So, but I still do think that I still didn't understand why they drafted him that high, because we already have the failed experiment of Carson Wentz, and this man came from the same school, and we're producing the same product right now. Bunch of busts. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like he's gonna go to a well-run organization, and it didn't go right. So Jerry Jones' playhouse. I don't know if this is a good trajectory for him. So for him personally, for the 49ers, they did what they had to do. It's business, bro.
And personally, I think Trey Lance was a reach pick. I think because
he definitely was a reach pick.
I think
you heard all those names I just mentioned.
Yeah. No, I know, but I think they needed a quarterback. Okay, that was what they thought was better. We all think. I forgot who was in that draft. Was Justin Fields in that draft class?
Justin Fields was in that draft class. Mac Jones
that would have been good.
It was in that draft class.
But I think his name shot up the trajectory, because look at what North Dakota State is doing, like making these quarterbacks. But how really good are they that come out of there? Outside of none of them.
I mean, I'm gonna give Carson his flowers. Like, he wasn't terrible for a stretch. Like, he was almost gonna win the MVP, but kind of like Ben Simmons. Just didn't have it up here when the going got tough. So.
He's not a leader.
And does Trey Lance come across to you as? I mean, I don't know.
He doesn't. He hasn't
played football in 5 years.
He looks like a pissed off kid that's not getting his shot. And you took me 3 overall. Like, I would be pissed too. I'm not gonna lie.
You remember that? Remember that show? What was that show called on Netflix? Last Chance U. Malik Henry, I think that's his name, right? He got kicked out of Florida State and went to school. He reminds me of that kid. Like, he was such a brat. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can't get in my way. You know what I mean? Just always just pissed off about something. So I mean, sometimes it don't work out.
it makes a new love for Jordan Love for me now to see that he sat there and was like, "Fuck, finally."
He learned from somebody who had to do it.
He did, but do you think Aaron was really trying to teach him? He was going to lose his job.
I bet you he taught him based on what I see from him on Hard Knocks.
That's what I told you he was
based on what I see from him on Hard Knocks. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's not trying to teach anybody.
I don't think
for the cameras. It could be for the cameras, but it seems very genuine to me, right?
I think he's a genuine person.
I know for a fact Brett Favre was not teaching Aaron Rodgers shit. So yeah. I know that for a fact.
I also think with Trey Lance, like, it's unfortunate. And I saw the writing on the wall. When they got Sam Darnold, I thought two things. I was like, damn, this Brock Purdy injury is really, really that bad. So he's going to be the backup to Trey Lance, and Trey Lance is going to get a shot. And my thinking was that Trey Lance gets his job back, Sam Darnold backs up, and then, you're Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. We're paying you fucking a mortgage on a basic house right now.
But that's why they want him to be the starting quarterback, because he's literally making
he's cheap.
A mortgage on the house.
I know that. But at the same time, I was like, they can't be all in on this guy. But he did win like 8 or 9 games for them. So like you can't go
in a row.
Yeah. So
he ran into the big bad wolf.
I think what they were missing in the locker room, and when they lost Jimmy Garoppolo, was the leadership role. And this
Jimmy,
kid picked it.
A leader?
I don't think Jimmy's a leader, but I think he had some kind of voice. If Tom Brady is like vouching for you, I think there's some kind of
Tom didn't really vouch for him. Tom was like, "Get this man out of my damn locker room."
You saw him at the Raiders game.
I saw him, but he's also the Las Vegas Aces part owner now, so he'd be out there with his new girl and shit.
I know that, but I just think.
But no, you're right.
I don't think they have the leadership role, and I think bringing in Sam Darnold, I was like, oh, he's the backup. But then when I heard how short that injury was, I was like, oh, this is gonna get spicy. This is gonna get spicy quick. So, the 49ers, I think they're set for success, whoever's running the helm, even if it's Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold doesn't make that many bonehead plays that they can be successful. But I think Brock Purdy is a smart choice. It's just unfortunate you have to see a 3rd overall pick, be traded away.
To Kyle Shanahan's credit, the man be doing it with like 18-string running backs and 18-string quarterbacks.
I don't know.
He figures some shit out, bro, all the time. So
we're all fooled by Trey Sermon. We were all fooled by Trey Sermon, man.
Hey, but we got him. We got him on the practice squad. He's nice, bro. He's nice.
You cut him.
We did I thought we cut him and then put him on the practice squad. Yeah,
whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, he's on the practice squad. Don't worry.
He fooled me, man. He fooled me. So all right, let's go to another team.
Yeah. So let's go to so I was looking at Vegas odds earlier today. I was curious. I'm like, let's see where they got it. Obviously, the Chiefs are the favorite at plus 600. And then followed by us. And I kept scrolling and I kept scrolling and I kept scrolling. I was like, oh, finally, I got to the Seahawks. They're literally like middle of the pack, like 18 or 20. I can't do the numbers right now. And I'm like, are we sleeping on the Seahawks? Like, first of all, Pete Carroll's throwing passes in practice better than Russell Wilson was looking last year. Like, I was like, damn, this old man can play. But they seem like they got some shit together. They're starting to rebuild the leads in the boom, not necessarily, but they got some defensive pieces, and they got Bobby Wagner back and right where he needed to be his whole career. Right. And then offensively, they drafted Jackson Smith and Jibba, who I think he's hurt right now, but he is an Ohio State receiver. These dudes lately are like all them and Alabama and LSU just pushing them out like factories, right? And
USC,
who?
And USC.
And shut up. Damn, J.J. Arcega. No, he went to Stanford. Oh, you're lucky. All right, anyway, yeah, he made me lose my train of thought. But yeah, they got DK Metcalf, they got Tyler Lockett, they got the good quarterback, they got Zach Charbonnet now with Kenny Walker. They obviously made it to they made it to the playoffs last year. Yeah. They made it to the playoffs last year. Trajectory seems to be going up for me. Are we sleeping on the Seahawks as like real title contender?
I don't think as a title contender. I don't see them as that. I see them as a playoff team. I think what they're doing is nice. You're mixing old and young, and the right, like a Bobby Wagner, like that's a great player to have. Yeah. That dude's a natural born leader, knows the system. He's like Pete Carroll's a legitimate child on that team. I think, and Geno Smith, like there's no one. I think, as much as I hate Kyrie Irving, I'll never come around to Kyrie. I'll never come around to Kevin Durant. I came around to OBJ. That was tough. But I think coming around to Geno Smith is even more tougher to me to give impressive. That flowers. That's
very impressive.
I hated that man, bro. Like, I couldn't stand him. He single-handedly ruined my organization as a quarterback with his attitude, his leadership, all of that. But to see how he was viewed with all these other teams and sitting on the bench and learning and waiting for his name to be called, he listened and he went and gave us the best quote that we got last year, man.
They tried to cut my ass. They tried to write me off.
I ain't right back.
Still ain't right back.
And I think I don't want to see a slump. I want to see the same type of play from him because I think he can do that. And I think he's got all the right pieces too around him, weapons-wise, everything. They got tight end factory there. Like, one of those guys gets hurt, the next one's up, has a big game. He gets hurt, the next one goes, gets hurt, next one. It happens. And I love Pete Carroll. You know that. I'm a huge Pete Carroll fan. You can't hate the guy.
But didn't I tell you, when I was in high school, I was like, I'm about to go pay out-of-state tuition fees so I can go to USC. I was dead ass. I was like, I'm about to go to USC. I want to be where he's at.
I used to ball with Mike Williams at the YMCA here, the wide receiver Mike Williams that played there. He used to always be at the YMCA.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
But yeah, man, I think the Seahawks are looking more or less the same, but they're trending in the right direction. Like, Tyler Lockett's getting older, so we got Jackson and Jibba. Okay, now that's going to complement DK Metcalf for a while. You got a running back. In case he goes down, you got the other one. They've got all these good pieces, and it looks good, but I don't just see them as a Super Bowl contender yet.
I mean, ahead of them right now, the Saints, the Browns. Like, I don't think the Saints or the Browns are on their level personally. The Chargers, we know, we're about to talk about the Chargers in a little bit. We know they still got Brandon Staley as their coach. You know, Detroit, like, I don't know. I don't feel like these teams all deserve to be ahead of them. So
I think it's a hodgepodge of things, but Vegas knows shit that we don't know at the time.
Good word.
But
I like that one today.
Of the day, hodgepodge.
That's the word.
but I think that they surprise us all the time with what's going on with them. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, you remember Russell Wilson and them came out of nowhere. That was supposed to be Matt Flynn's team. Remember, he played one good game for Green Bay, went to Seattle, got paid. They drafted a homeboy in the 4th round, and they didn't look back until last year. It's like, damn. So it could be one of those things in which Geno Smith is like a renaissance man or some shit like that. You know, we see it all the time. What was the Oakland Raiders quarterback back in the day that made it to the Super Bowl against the Bucks?
Rich Gannon.
Yeah, like him. Like, he was supposed to be hot shit, had some down years, and then came and won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Trent Dilfer. You know, they thought highly of him. He came and won the Super Bowl. So it's not like it's impossible. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's impossible. I wouldn't have him as a contender, though. Playoff.
All right. That's fair. So, okay. All right. So, the next two teams, the Cardinals and the Rams. Now, I'm curious where you have these two. So, how I have it right now, I still top two in the NFC West is 49ers and Seahawks. Are we agreeing there?
I'm in agreement. I just think the Rams can maybe turn some heads, but I still would have them at 3.
I have no faith in the Rams right now. Yo, they said F them picks. Shit, no. Hey, listen, I said it before. I was like, look, is it nice to win a ring? Hell yeah, it's nice to win a ring. It's the best feeling ever, right? But there's going to be down years after that, and you're going to have to be if you're a true Rams fan, you're going to have to keep thinking about that damn ring, that it was worth it for you, because they literally mortgaged their whole future. Like, they went all in and mortgaged the next 10 years. Because, like, remember Brooklyn? They went all in on Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and shit. As soon as that shit didn't work, until Kyrie and Kevin Durant showed up, it was
the same thing.
It was terrible. So So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have any faith in the Rams. And then we got what's his name, Matthew Stafford's wife, spilling the beans on her podcast, saying,
"Oh my god,
Matt's not getting along with the young guys." Oh my god, I gotta hear this shit. I'm Van Jefferson. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That's why I don't get the ball. That's why Cooper Kupp gets all the targets and shit. I don't know, man. And then we got the Cardinals, where we know shit ain't been smelling right there for a while.
They've been having a fire sale last 2 weeks.
You watched the Hard Knocks to approve that, and then just like the Angels, they see that.
Isaiah Simmons,
Colt McCoy, we know you're more ready to start right now. You're gone. Let me go get Josh Dobbs. They are all in on Caleb Williams. And I said it as soon as I saw how bad they did last year. I'm like, yeah, Kyler Murray is never going to be playing for the Cardinals again. I promise you that. They're shutting him down for the year, and they're going to trade him in the offseason to the Falcons and some shit like that. And that's something that I've been saying for a while. I'm manifesting it now.
I agree. When that GM came in and said we're not taking any like bullies and shit like that, that was the writing on the wall right there. And
think about it. Just a couple of years ago, remember they started off the season, they were like 9-0. This was like 2 years ago. Yeah. And they had JJ Watt, and they had all this talent. And now it's like, shit.
All right, I'll give you a rundown on both teams real quick. I think with the case, like, things aren't smelling right in both organizations right now. Mm-hmm. And for your wife to come on a podcast and be like, "Oh, he's not getting along with the players," and they're on, like, shut up. No, exactly. Like, no. What did The Rock say? Know your role. Like, know your role, man.
Don't be spilling locker room shit. We know people pillow talk. Don't spill the pillow talk.
Yeah, I wonder what Matt was thinking when he went. I was like, my fucking wife, god damn. Like,
he walked back in the locker room. Everybody giving a little snarly look, like, okay.
Everyone's just on their phone.
Everybody like, all right, tweeting about him, saying some like subliminal shit. Oh, look who just walked in.
That doesn't look right, but I think that's just a whole new roster that has just been put in Los Angeles right now. Everybody's gone. I mean, but Cooper Kupp is back, and Cooper Kupp is a monster. We can't downplay that guy the way he plays. He's an amazing wide receiver, and he white. So, like, that's a plus.
Hey, they got Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, and Cooper Kupp, and Tyler Higbee. That's a little fraternity right there.
Yeah. And Cam Akers fucking was disgruntled all year, and they were like, "Hey, man, we'll bring it back
home, man. Let's come back home."
If I'm McDonald, I'm really thinking about retiring.
He should have retired, man. He should. He knew it too. I knew that's why he waited so long to accept the offer. He knew it. Like, this is about to be some shit these next 2 years.
Yeah, but he's so good still, like, regardless. But I think with the Rams, I think they're gonna have to learn to get younger, and they're gonna have to trust the younger players on that team. And I think it could be serviceable. I think it would be good, some of them. I think they'll turn some heads, but I don't think they're gonna be like Super Bowl contenders like we were.
Oh, hell. So I looked at the Vegas odds. They are just ahead of the Bucks for odds. They're like at number 30, 20, like 25. And the Cardinals are second to last. So yeah, obviously we know.
I think in case of the Cardinals, like it I've been telling you for the longest, it does not smell right. And I don't even want to touch on that. Like, that team, after what I've seen the previous 2 weeks, getting rid of everything and just like getting IKEA cheap on everything, like it's almost embarrassing. And to think that you were so high on Kyler Murray, that, let's not forget, you took Josh Rosen. Screwed
up his career.
Screwed up his career to get this kid who's like a crybaby, in my opinion. He's
like damn good now, because now everybody knows he don't be watching his video because he had to have that bullshit in the clause. Like, oh, he's never on his iPad. Or, watching film.
So I just don't think it smells right. Everything in Arizona doesn't sit right with me. If they're going to tank for Caleb Williams, I just think they'll fuck his career to hell.
Hey, a quarterback can turn your life around.
It can, but let's look at what's been going on in Arizona ever since Kurt Warner left. He's
got the West Coast on lock right now. Caleb Williams is like, I just saw him on a Subway commercial. No, it was oh my God, Wendy's commercial today. I was like, Caleb Williams, is that you?
Yeah,
He's got the West Coast locked down right now, so
I mean,
this could be good for him.
I want the best for him because I love USC. So I hope he goes somewhere that's going to be favorable to him, like a decently run organization. But what's going on in Arizona? It don't sound right, bro. And I don't have faith in any of those teams, the Rams or the Cardinals.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think the Cardinals drafted well this year, but the play is not for this year. And then they hired our defensive coordinator. That was a horrible hiring. He's gonna lose. You know how they did? He's like a placeholder. You know how they did with the Texans with homeboy last year. They're like, all right, cool. We're just gonna hold on to you for a year, and then we're gonna get the coach that we actually want. I think homeboy, who's over there right now? I don't remember his name right now. I did Philadelphia Eagles defensive coordinator. He's gonna lose his job, and then they gonna go make like a run at like Lincoln Riley or like you know what I mean? Like they're like, we need to make a splash right now. And I think that's going to be what they do. They fire homeboy and then they say, all right, let's go after Lincoln Riley. We're gonna give him the world. Because that's what they did with buddy that just ran out of town on your show. On your show. Like, damn, they did this shit on camera. But so yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like they're taking for a good cause. And Caleb could be the answer. Caleb and Lincoln Riley, we might have Cowboys 90s with Jimmy Johnson in them.
We'll see. Let's go flip. Let's go NFC.
AFC. The American Football Conference. So we talked about this man a little bit earlier. We talked about him last week when we talked about quarterbacks. We talked about Mr. Justin Herbert, who's going to be always attached to the hip of Tua, since that was because Joe Burrow is going to be Joe Burrow, right? But those two are like, oh, who should you have drafted, right? The Dolphins should have probably drafted Justin Herbert. That's what I think. But hey, he's a West Coast guy. It just made sense for him being the West Coast, so I think it works out for him. And Tua in Miami, it makes sense too, right? It just looks like a Dominican or some shit. I don't know. But no, I think Justin Herbert. And people are talking about my quarterback list and why I don't have him ranked a little bit higher. I'm like, because look, I know the talent's there. Everybody in the NFL has talent. Carson Wentz had talent, but he didn't know how to put it on the field. Justin Herbert has talent, and I know he's good enough, and I know he's going to get there. But sometimes your coach or your organization can hold you back. And the Chargers have two things going for them. Their organization is cursed. I'm sure of it. Like, you go to a Chargers home game and there's more of the other team's fans there all the time. Like a Pittsburgh Steelers road game is actually a home game, and I'm talking about Pittsburgh, right?
Now, when they were in San Diego, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, but yeah, they tried to save money. They split the rent. We're gonna split the rent with the Rams, and it's not working out for them. So that's one thing, and then the other thing is that that coach of theirs, man, Brandon Staley, he just does a lot of questionable things for me, and I feel like he's gonna hold them back to where they could go, where they need to be. What are you at with the Los Angeles Chargers? Both of our teams that we probably cheered for growing up a little bit.
Yeah,
LT and them.
I still root for them. I still like
on the side.
I like what they're doing. I just think the big problem that they're missing, or the big problem they have, is the head coach. And I think hiring, was it Kellen Moore? That was the offensive coordinator they got?
Yeah, that I like.
So what I think Staley is on a very short leash. I think he's on a very short. I know they brought him back, but I think that hire is to see if Kellen Moore can make Justin Herbert better this year. If he can make him look like an elite quarterback, kind of like how Joe Burrow made the next leap that one year. Next year,
what's his name? Giants coach.
Dayball, yeah.
Dayball and Josh Allen.
And Jones, yeah.
And Daniel Jones too.
If he can make Justin Herbert that much better, I think he may get the head coaching job. Sure. I think that was because we all thought Kellen Moore was going to get a head coaching job, and it didn't happen. And he settled for an offensive coordinator role, and I think he went to the perfect place for him because he fits that West Coast style offense, and he's got probably one of the best quarterbacks, top 10 for sure, a young one at that you can mold over the years. And if it works, what can you do with the entire team after that and tailor it around that? Because historically, the Chargers are always a offensive heavy team with a pretty decent defense behind it. So I think that's what's going to happen there.
And he just got his money too. So it's now time. And, you know, as an owner of a team, it's like, all right, bro, I just gave Buddy 262. Chop, chop. It's time. The clock is on now. Right? We're going to do everything we can in our power to make sure that he's ROI. He's going to be, you know, we're going to get a return on our investment here. So I think the Chargers are I always feel good about the Chargers, right? Like they're always going to be just good enough. You know what I mean? And now that they've gone from Phillip Rivers and the torch has been handed to Justin Herbert by way of Tyrod Taylor. Puncture to the
bad. It's happened like so many times in his career. Buffalo, the same.
Poor Ty, man. Poor Tyrod. Damn, that's crazy. My bad, dog. But yeah, I think that we got somebody who's going to be there for a while. I don't think he's ever going to leave the Chargers. He just looks like a LA kid. He's not going to be leaving the Chargers. So they got the guy. Now it's time for them to really start producing. I wasn't crazy about Quentin Johnston as a college player. TCU. I was like, whatever. It's the Big 12.
He's big. He's big.
I do like him in this kind of offense, though. So I think he's going to be a huge draft pick for him. Austin Eckler, I know you were talking about it last week. You know, that don't smell the best, but I think bygones will be bygones. Business is business. And when the field, you know, when the lights turn on, and, you know, you're trying to win a game at the end of the day, right? So I think the Chargers are still going to be fine. Now, obviously, the West is stacked, kind of like they're like the Raiders should be better than what they're going to probably finish at, in my opinion. The Chiefs, obviously, the Super Bowl defending champs, and then we go to the Broncos show where we thought last year they were a Super Bowl contender. I remember when the trade happened, everybody had, including me, I'm like, yeah, they got a chance, but they got a chance. And last year was a disaster. And I see Nathaniel Hackett on Hard Knocks. He gets on my nerves. I can see why they didn't want to play.
I love him.
I can see why they didn't want to play for him. Well, bro, you're a nerd, bro. It's just,
I love
it can't be. He's a great coordinator. He can't be a coach. Like, that was like Aaron Rodgers screwed Broncos because they thought he was gonna go to Denver. He's a great coordinator. As a coach, he don't got that kind of Bill Belichick shit to him. So, but anyway, Sean Payton, we've seen him save a career before. The aforementioned Chargers, Drew Brees, came over, bad knee. Miami said no, and literally carried that man into the Hall of Fame and to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You know, we got Russell Wilson, who was already on that trajectory before, and then last year, bro, you want to talk about a speed bump, bro? That shit took the whole bottom of the car out. Like, people are literally starting to question his Hall of Fame shit now. Like, what was it, 8 great years and 1 bad year? And they're like, nah, bro, I don't know if you him no more.
Unlimited.
Bro, he didn't help himself, bro. And my brave, you just shut up. Nobody would hate you this much, but just stop talking, dog. Stop talking. And then the Sierra thing, like, he be changing his voice.
Oh my God.
That shit be getting on my damn nerve. Like,
so I just wonder why his hair looked like that, though.
I mean, Trey Young, we got Trey Young's crazy little hair. Russell Wilson,
but Trey Young is mixed. Apparently,
Russell Wilson got to be mixed.
Got to be, but I don't think he is.
No, there's no way, bro. He's mixed or he's Dominican, bro. He's mixed or he's Dominican. Russello or some shit like that. But ain't no way he's pure, whatever they say he is. So anyway, Sean Payton. What do you feel with Sean Payton on this team?
I like the Sean Payton get. I think if there's a man for the job, it's Sean Payton. Just don't trash Nathaniel Hackett. Don't do that to my boy, okay?
Look, I said as a head coach.
We got hitters in New York.
As a head coach.
I know. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him trashing him.
Oh, Sean Payton. Okay. Yeah. Oh.
I'm talking about you.
Aaron Rodgers was ready for some smoke.
Oh, yeah. They're ready for him.
And y'all play him this year too.
Yeah. I think it's a good get. And then to make it even better, getting the band back together, they go get Will Lutz out of nowhere to go over there.
I didn't even know that. I thought he was still with the Saints.
He was, but no, he got traded yesterday.
He did. Bro,
Yeah,
that's what's up. Hey, Sean Payton got pulled. Got pulled. That's why you got to trust this.
That's a good kicker to get, man, because I feel like it's a lackluster offense in New Orleans, and you go put it in this
lackluster. They got Chris Olave.
That's just it. Okay,
Alvin Kamara.
Question mark. It's all question mark.
Your boy Jamal Williams.
Yeah, I know that,
Michael
but
Thomas.
I think what Sean Payton will bring to the Broncos locker room is a more stern type of person. I feel like Nathaniel Hackett was like, the substitute teacher's like, okay, guys, we're all gonna,
that's what I mean. He's a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
You can't be a head coach as a substitute teacher. It don't work.
And I think he'll command the best and get the best out of it. And he's definitely a quarterback whisperer. And I'm not writing Russell Wilson off a Hall of Fame path. He definitely has the accolades to show.
He took a step back a little bit.
He took a huge step back, but also was with a new team. It was also with a new team. It wasn't barely as much as we thought it was constructed. Well, it really wasn't. He didn't show his leadership skills the best that I thought that he always does.
The mobility was gone too.
Yeah.
He was 15 pounds heavier last year too. He lost 15 pounds.
There's a whole lot of things we can carve up and say this is why it didn't work. But I think what it really boiled down to was play calling and just having somebody over your quarterback to be, the big shadow. And I think Sean Payton casts a huge shadow over everything.
But they get his own rules, the floor. They say, you on the second floor, Mr. Russell. Like, what? What are we talking about, bro?
I like Sean Payton. I like what he's going to do there. I think it's beneficial for them. And I think the Broncos will take the step forward as opposed to the huge step backwards that they took. So,
no, Sean Payton once got suspended for a year for bounty game. That's like a stat that people are gonna always forget. Like, this dude got suspended for. They made a movie about this shit. Dog. The man got suspended for a year. So, but yeah, no, he's gonna be good, man. Denver's been waiting to get something like this back because, like, I mean, think about it. We talk about what's his name, Kyle Shanahan, but his poppy, bro, his dad, Mike, he had that shit on lock in Denver, bro, on lock. So they need to get back to that. And Sean Payton, I mean, think about it. The New Orleans Saints were a trash organization until Sean Payton walked through those doors. Literally, it's that simple. So I think Sean Payton will get it right. I think Russ is going to be. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to benefit having Javonte Williams. Fantasy alert, because he's just going to be dumping that bitch off like they did for Kamara. If you don't got time, just give it to the athlete, bro. Just give it to the athlete. So I think they set up defensively. They were good. They got to me this. I got him as the second best corner for me. Pat Surtain, he's a dog, bro. So they got some shit going on over there. Jerry Jeudy got to stay healthy though, because these Bama kids. I'm always trying to just see where they kind of end up. And we got one of them was in prison. The other one, Jameson Williams, is a gambler. So it's like, damn, like I need to like tighten up. So, but I would say they can compete for something this year. I don't know what that something is, but I think they can compete for something. Now we talked about this pretty boy earlier, Jimmy G. So you talk about leadership, man. The dude is flying. He was flying like a Blue Angel yesterday or today. Like, why are you flying fighter jets, bro? You're supposed to be on the field. You with the bad ankles and the bad knees and the injuries that cost you Super Bowls. Why are you in the fighter jet, bro? Go be with your team. But that's how Al Davis. That's his children, bro. That's his team. That's his organization. Mark, he do what he do. Like, hey, you want to go fly a fighter jet? Go ahead, right? So he's back with his coach from New England. You think we gonna see something? They got Devontae, they got Jacoby Myers now. They got, I don't know what else they got. Oh, your boy Josh Jacobs. I mean, they got some shit.
I don't like it. I think I'm finally off the Josh McDaniels bandwagon of thinking that he's a coach.
He's a coordinator.
A glorified great offensive coordinator. I just think that's what he is. He he doesn't intimidate me. Like, you know, Bill Belichick intimidates me.
Exactly.
There's something about Bill Belichick, there's something about Sean Payton that will intimidate you because they smell like wins. They smell like I've been here. I know how this is.
Even Andy Reid's happy ass. Andy Reid, you just know he's trying to mess with you. He gonna throw some trick shit in there, like fuck. Yeah, I can't figure this guy out.
Josh McDaniels is like he, you know, couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight kind of guy.
He's a goofball.
Yeah, I think same record as last year, if anything. I think Devontae's got to get the hell up out of there.
Right. Sometimes, you know, you want to go, you know, you got a best friend growing up, right? Sometimes you can't be that best friend roommate, bro. Like, you realize, I can't live with this dude. Like, I know him and Derek Carr were boys, but he's not even there no more. And this shit still stink from how it stank last year. So it's like, was it really worth it? I mean, you could have been with Aaron Rodgers. Instead of taking Lazard with him to the Jets, he could have took Devontae Adams with him to the Jets. Guaranteed Super Bowl. Devontae, Garrett Wilson, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, yeah, that was an Aaron Randall Cobb getting 15-yard penalties. Thinking it's 2014. But nah, yeah, it don't smell right, bro.
It looks like what they do every year. They put together a good display for you to like walk in and like, oh, the Raiders,
Cowboys, just like the Cowboys.
Exactly. Just for it not to smell right and tear it down. Tear it down.
Literally, and the Raiders.
Your quarterback shouldn't be flying planes. I'm sorry.
Chill out, dog. You're the NFL. You are basically the CEO of the players, right? Like, you are their boss. What the hell are you doing flying like a fighter jet a week and a half before the season started? Man, some shit just don't make sense to me. It's like, man, I don't know. But yeah, for me personally, yeah, I mean, I think they finished at the bottom of the division. Yeah, I got them finished at the bottom of the division, and we have to do like a bold statement. Devontae Adams is out of there. Like, what the hell am I doing? Wasting my career here. Y'all got rid of Darren Waller. Y'all got rid of Derek Carr. You left me here with Hunter Renfrow and Jacoby Myers throwing the ball backwards to Chandler Jones. To the team, bro, to the team that you benefited from. Like, you won that game because of him. You go and get that bonehead. Not that he's a bonehead, he's a leader, but a boneheaded play like that. I mean, come on, man. Like, the Raiders are going to rate him. And then, obviously, you know, the Chiefs. Now, it's not like it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be pretty. Obviously, they still got Patty, but what do you think would be the biggest reason why they can't make it back to the Super Bowl?
If they can't keep, what's the D-line guys? Chris Jones? Chris Jones.
Like Chris
Jones, they can't keep Chris Jones, that's going to be big. That's going to be big.
They're going to find a way, bro.
I know they will.
They're going to find a way. That's not somebody you just let walk through your door.
No, I don't think so. I think the three things for me, for them to get back to the Super Bowl is Chris Jones, number one. Two, Patrick Mahomes has to be healthy, and he's healthy all the time. So
it don't even matter, bro. He beat us with one ankle. With one ankle, bro.
I know. Him, and then the third is Travis Kelce being healthy. Those are the only three things that I see is the core three. If they're not healthy, it ain't going to work.
Listen,
because Patrick Mahomes will make anybody a star.
Travis Kelce is 34 years old, man. Like, there is a thing called, you know, age and father time and that kind of shit. And he just won another Super Bowl. So obviously, it's not like he's going to choose not to work as hard this summer, but just naturally the way the body works, you're not going to put that much more intensity into it right now because, like, you already got that shit. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I got another one. You kind of chill a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, that extra gas, so you don't really go as hard like you used to.
The Kelce boys, they're built different, man.
Oh, no, bro. I'm telling you, man, this is just human being 101. Like, humans are going to human, no matter how great they are. Michael Jordan at age 40 was not doing what he was doing at age 25, just naturally.
No, I know that. So, I know that. Until I see that drop, I'm not going to believe it yet. I mean, I believe you.
There's never going to be a drop with him because as a tight end who's more athletic than the people that guard you, and you have Patrick Mahomes, you're always going to be great. Like, as hurt as Gronkowski, as every year he be having shoulder thingies and slings and shit. The ball just magically lands in his hands because he's bigger, stronger than everybody on the field, and he has a GOAT thrown to him. Travis Kelce is faster and more athletic than people guarding him, and he's got a GOAT thrown to him. So, yeah, he won't fall off. But, who else is there, bro? Like, McCall Harmon's not even there no more. I know that. Juju who helped them win is not there no more.
Valdez-Scantling is there.
One trick pony.
Don't say one trick
pony. Go Bulls, though.
My boy. Go Bulls. I think they got the right piece. I told you, Mahomes is the kind of guy that makes guys around him better. And don't act like the trade deadline when it happens, they're not going to get someone like maybe Devontae Adams or something like that. Don't act like that's not playable. So
they can afford him. I don't know about that.
They'll find a way. We say this in the NFL.
Howie Roseman. That's the only person that get that done.
But I like the Chiefs getting back to the Super Bowl, no matter how depleted. Like I thought,
the Super Bowl, or just winning the West, because that AFC is loaded.
Winning the West, yeah, but
loaded. Pause.
I love him in the Super Bowl, bro. Patrick Mahomes just knows how to get you there. He knows how to get there.
See, this is a mistake that we make. When Tom Brady was playing, we just assumed that he's gonna be in the Super Bowl every year. He wasn't. It was half the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's like Michael Jordan. He won 6 rings. Cool. He played 15 years. What about the other 9? Like, sometimes it don't work out like that.
I know. I believe him getting in the Super Bowl. But I mean, I'm obviously thinking the Jets are going to win it. Don't get me wrong. I think the Jets are going to.
They're going to have 2 AFC teams.
But no, I'm saying I believe the Jets will win it. But like, if I was really a betting man and taking my heart out of the Jets, like, you can't root against a guy not to get back there. He finds a way to get there and beat you. And they've got a good kicker. They've got one of the best top 5 kickers in football there.
This is going to be the year where a team like the Chargers knock them off, because the Chargers play him well. Joe Burrow is still going to be Joe Burrow, no matter what you say about him. They're like, those are the teams that were like, all right, we already got your number. Like, Cincinnati used to beat the dog shit out of him. Like, up to this past playoff game, they could not stop. They could not be stopped. So I think, it's kind of Patrick Mahomes, Hall of Famer. To me, he's already top 5 quarterback, in my opinion. And I didn't watch Johnny Unitas and all that shit, so I'm sorry, old people. But from the people I've been watching, I'm like, damn, this dude is nice. So to get back to the Super Bowl is hard to do year after year after year. Like, it's very fatiguing on a football team, getting your ass beat all the way into February, and then you don't really got time to recover because you partying for like 3 months. And next thing you know, it's training camp. So it's year after year, it gets tough. And they are going to run into a game in which somebody like Derwin James figures out how to stop Kelce.
All right.
And then who else is there?
I got what you're saying. All right. So you don't believe they'll make it to the Super Bowl.
Because it's too easy to say that. It's too easy to say that. I got the Baltimore the Ravens or the Jets or the Bengals.
Love hearing that.
I love my boy Aaron Rodgers, but you notice I didn't say the Bills.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has.
I ain't falling for that shit no more.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about preseason and it ending. So let's jump there.
You got it, bro. You got Hard Knocks on your mind, because I know that was just yesterday. So you might as well just get it off your chest.
No. I just love that preseason is done and we got a week. Get your fantasy drafts in now. Draft those players. We're going to discuss fantasy football in just a little bit, but I have the script in front of me, and we're looking at like biggest surprises, players, coaches, teams that we see. I never want to say teams on that because, it is preseason and we're seeing like guys stand out. My biggest standout, like as a player though, is I think George Pickens is going to make that jump this year.
You know what mine was? It was Kenny Pickett and George Pickens.
They both,
the two of them. They got a connection.
They have something going on. And I think I think both of them. I think the Steelers are going to be setting themselves up for success with both of them.
Yeah, they did it again. You know how back in the day, Mike Williams, Antonio Brown, they just find a way to just have all these guys already. It's like a Mike Wallace, Mike Wallace, right? That was his name, but. The Steelers are gonna steal it, bro. Like
they breed receivers. We all know that. Deontay Johnson. Let's not forget that guy's.
He's a dog. Pat Frymouth. He's a
dog. Even though he's disgruntled and doesn't want to be there, but like he's still there right now. So
who?
Deontay Johnson. He requested a trade last year.
Yeah, but like he's still getting 35% of the target share. Yeah, like he's still getting the rock when he's just.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, let's not. I'm just saying, I'm alluding to that, like, just let's not, forget that. But I think biggest surprise for me too, if I want to put my heart in this and put my team in it, like Zach Wilson looked really mature out there. Like, not just looking at Hard Knocks.
Man, he's still a little baby.
No, I know that. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Listen, I don't like him. Trust me, I still don't like him. But watching him play. He wasn't forcing the ball. He was waiting. He made a 60-yard throw that was nice. I mean, it was the Panthers, but whatever. But he looked better and more mature. And I think it's the Aaron Rodgers effect putting on it. So now as a Jets fan, I feel a little more comfortable with that being a backup in case if that's the kind of play I'm going to get. Yes, it was against shit teams, but if I get that, I'm content with it. As far as coach, I really don't know. Coach, you may have one.
You don't even have to do. I said just either or, coach, player, or team. So it don't really matter. But I want to get to my biggest disappointment, and it's the whole Indianapolis Colts organization. That's my biggest disappointment. Everything that's going on with that team, and they're trying to cover it up with Anthony Richardson, who's raw. He's raw, but like pause. He's still got talent. We know that. But come on now. Like, what are we doing here? Like, the second or third best running back in the league. When healthy, obviously, he had, a down year last year with the health. But, bruh, just figure that shit out. And they let him observe a trade, and that didn't work. Now he's on the PUP list. After the whole training camp, they're like, I'm hurt, I'm not hurt. I'm hurt, I'm not hurt. It is just Chris Ballard, it's just, man, I don't know. That whole thing going on in Indianapolis, I talk about smell. Peyton Manning ain't walking through those doors. Andrew Luck is not walking through them doors. And here we are. So
yeah, and I'll piggyback. That was mine, but I can even, piggyback once again what we were talking about earlier. The Arizona Cardinals just too much shipping away the team and
giving. If they're taking for Caleb Williams.
But it's like it's dumb. It's dumb in my opinion because you have Kyler Murray, who's when he's healthy,
they don't listen.
They don't understand. We understand. We get it, you and I. But to the untamed person, that's like he's a good player. Why do they want to move on from him? Like he's not a leader. He's tiny. He's a crybaby. He's a little bitch. I'm not gonna lie.
He should have chosen the Oakland A's.
He should have. But even at that, like. I don't get like Colt McCoy. Okay, Colt McCoy can easily take the helm and win you some games. And they give up on Colt McCoy. Like, hey, thanks for your 5 years of here, but we're going to see you. Like, that was – it doesn't smell right. Nothing smells right over there. And I think the players that they're getting, like Marquise Brown, like that's a player to complement your quarterback because he was thrown to him in college. Now you're basically saying, okay, we're giving up on you – and we're going to go to get Caleb Williams is what we're understanding, what we're thinking. Who knows? Maybe they're playing possum and they might want to trade the first pick. I don't think they will.
No,
but
you take it for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it doesn't. Those are two organizations right now that I'm like, what is going on? Because what's the owner's Irsay like?
Jim Irsay, bro, he's a clown.
Just shut up.
He's a clown, bro.
Why, bro? Like, just shut up, man.
He's a clown, bro.
Yeah, but I don't like either.
I'm about to get off topic real quick. Jim Irsay gets on my nerves. Daryl Morey gets on my nerves. I never wanted him with the Sixers. And the Philadelphia 76ers Twitter page and Instagram page wished James Harden a happy birthday. Now, talk about some toxic, reckless shit. What the hell were they thinking doing that? I'm just saying, like ownership. Chris Cowherd, what's his name? Chris Cowherd talks about this all the time. Sometimes you cannot over Colin Cowherd. God, why I call him Chris Cowherd? Colin Cowherd said you can't overcome the organization all the time. That's why, like the Browns, no matter who's going to be the quarterback, you can just never overcome that. And Jim Irsay is starting to become like a Jerry Jones type of guy, where they're just too disruptive and they don't just let the players just go play. And I don't know what his gripe is with Jonathan Taylor. It's not like he did something wrong, but he was a second round pick, so he doesn't get as much money as some of these first round picks are getting, right? Zay Flowers signing bonus, we found out, was $7 million. Like, damn. So I don't know, man. And my dumbass, I did a fantasy football draft for my work league the other day. I had the number 6 pick. So, I'm dead smack in the middle. So, we go around in the snake draft. It's hard. It's hard. So I got to the 4th round and I looked at the board. I saw Jonathan Taylor was still there. I was like, bro, I got it. Either I'm an idiot or I'm a genius. So I drafted Jonathan Taylor in the 4th round.
We're hoping you're
only God knows if he's going to see the field this year. So there's that.
Oh, wow.
All right. And then your team, the Jets.
Love it. Don't even got to talk. I love it. Loaded and locked and ready to go, baby.
Everything. Do you have, like I said about the Chiefs, what's the one thing that will hold you back from getting to the
Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. That's it. That's it. I'm on board everything.
You think you Tom Brady Bucks?
I think we are. I really think we are. We have a loaded front with more guys behind that. We have one of the best we have probably one of the best linebackers in CJ Mosley covering the field.
Veteran.
And then 2, he was first team All-Pro. Yeah, and we had two good outside linebackers to complement. We have the best corner and probably one of the top 10 best corners on the other side. And the safeties, they could be better, but Amos is pretty good. And, the other guy's not bad either. But the O-line could be maybe a little better now that we have it fully healthy. The only thing that scares me is Dwayne Brown is like 36 years old. He's getting up there in age, but he's still a beast. If we get Bakhtiari, that would be great. But we'll see if that happens.
How serious are those talks from what you read? And I know you like to read what the beat writers are writing, so
it's semi-serious. It's not like out there, but Aaron Rodgers has pull, obviously. We've seen everything he's brought over.
Yeah.
So I think it can happen. I'm not like holding my breath for that. If it happens, it happens. But I'm 100% in on this team right now.
Okay.
And if Greg Zuerlein can make 50-yarders again and not miss them, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Now for us in the Philadelphia franchise of the Eagles, some of our roster, I always like to, I don't care about the cuts as much as I care about the practice squad, because obviously the NFL is a physical game and you're going to have to call up some people from the practice squad. And we've had a lot of luck having pretty good, serviceable practice squad guys. We all remember Greg Ward and what was his name that was winning everybody's fantasy games. Who we had? What was his name? The wide receiver?
For where?
Fulgham. Was it Travis Fulgham?
Oh, Travis Fulgham.
But he came out of nowhere as winning people fantasy football games and shit, and then we haven't heard from him since. So we do a good job with our practice squad. The surprising one was our punt return to Britton Covey. He started getting better finally, and then they put him on the practice squad. Devon Allen, another one that's on the practice squad. He's like a track star. And then Greg Ward. So I'm like, those are 3 guys I thought we would, have make the team, but no big deal. And then for the actual players on the field, I want somebody to go ahead and Google Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks was an undrafted free agent from Alabama. He had some little legal, I guess he had some trouble or whatever in the law or something like that. Anyway, we undrafted him. He was a free agent signing, and he's been a dog all camp. And now we still got Bradbury, still got Darius Slay. This dude could literally step up and be one of them, because he was I think he was like a 4 or 5 star at Alabama. Like, come on, that's the SEC. And so I'm loving it. Like Burger King or McDonald's, whatever the shit is. Bro. I'm definitely loving it. So I mean, I got no complaints, man. I mean,
I want to see you in the Super Bowl.
I'm about to say, if we want an all green Super Bowl, we can have an all green Super Bowl. We have a fair weather. We can definitely have a fair weather Super Bowl. Don't get me twisted. Don't get me twisted now. But
let's talk fantasy football. Let's talk fantasy football.
Listen, so I was talking to A-Rod earlier, and I was like, "Yo, do we know any fantasy football gurus?" A-Rod, I'm the guru, bro. I was like, "Oh shit!" Drop the mic. I never seen something like that in my life.
I had like 4 or 5 people hit me up this week for advice. I literally went through an entire draft with an old coworker, going through it to make sure he gets the right team. I have one girl who's like spiteful of her husband, and she wants to win because the first year she did it, I helped her draft a team and she won.
Yeah.
And now ever since then, she's like, "You're my go-to." So I get phone calls nonstop. Help me. What should I do? What should I do? I just did my work league last week, and it's pretty solid what I got, man. It's pretty good.
When I did mine, what pick did you have, first of all?
I had the 7th pick.
Ew, see, me, I had the 6, right?
Yeah.
Was it yours 10 or 12?
Huh?
10 or 12 team?
10 man in work league.
Oh,
well, I know.
It's hard to tell then.
It is, but still, like
I mean, you're gonna be top heavy.
I got pause. I got a lot of them. I got a lot of good players on my team, so I just know how to draft well. I don't fall for the hype on anything. Jonathan Taylor kept falling and falling and falling. I was like, not gonna fool me. I'm sorry.
Damn it. I was like, it's like the big shiny toy, right? And I knew I shouldn't have did it. I was just looking around. That's why I don't like doing live drafts. Because when I do live drafts, I'm looking around the room and I want people to think, "Oh, I'm a smart guy." And I'm waiting for a reaction, right? If I was at home doing that draft, I probably wouldn't have drafted him because I wouldn't be pressured. I felt like I had to draft him because everyone was watching me. I was like, well, I guess I'll be the smart guy in the room and draft this guy. And then 24 hours later, he's on PUP list. And he's not with the Dolphins. And now I look like an idiot. So that was probably going to be my biggest mistake. And then my other one, my toxic mistake. I love to be heartbroken and I love to be in abusive relationships. Because once again, I found a way to not be able to say no to Michael Thomas. I know.
Everybody's like that.
I know, bro. I can't. You know what? It's like you try so hard every year after that magical year he had. I was so hyped because I had him that year. I was like, yeah, let's go, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I felt so good. And every year since then has been a nightmare. And me, I'm so loyal to the soil. I'm like, Mike, I'm gonna hold you down, bro. I'm gonna keep bringing you back. So one of my dynasty leagues, we do like 3 keepers. I kept keeping him and keeping him. I was like, yo, the draft round 7. That's a good keep, right? This time I drafted him like 96. And I was like, bro, that's 96. I mean, come on. He's still Michael Thomas. You got Derek Carr now. Bro, I don't know, man. I love to be in abusive relationships apparently because I couldn't say no, bro. I couldn't say no.
All right. So I'm looking at your list of things you said there. So my league winners, your league winners for me are going to be target hogs. Always has to be target hogs. You got to be looking for. So wide receivers that are like target hogs, getting the ball thrown to them a lot, more than 35% of the play calling. Those are definitely going to be your winners. And I feel like this is tying in with like a sleeper. I think George Pickens is going to be that guy this year.
I like that.
I really think he is. Another one, and they're both down there because of the quarterback, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, what Pless has been saying. Bucs fans are going to love this. I think Mike Williams has not had a year where he's had under 1,000 receiving yards. Mike Evans, yeah. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, too. I think they're going to be fine, and they're down there.
They're real down. Yeah, they're definitely down there. All my mock drafts, I'm like, shit, you still there? All right, let me get him.
Exactly. You can break the... See, my next league that I'm going to do my draft in is Tuesday, and there's a lot of Bucs fans in there. So Mike Evans may go a little higher.
Yeah. I like being in those situations where I know
where loyalty is.
I could probably reach here or not reach.
Okay, this is the first year I didn't go with my heart on any team except the only Jets players I got was the defense. That was it. I took the Jets defense. So
I'll have no Jets player on this team.
Yeah, I wanted to, and I was like, this is your Achilles heel every year. They break your heart. So root for them, but root against them in fantasy this time. So I think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are good sleeper gets for you down the way if you need a receiver, because they're obviously competing for 1 and 2. They're both a 1-2 kind of player. Mm-hmm. And I think Baker's going to be able to get them the ball a lot.
Let me ask you a question. So between 10 and 20 picks, so between pick 10 and 20, there's like a lot of receivers that like are like, damn, should I get them, should I not, right? So that's your Amon-Ra St. Browns, your A.J. Browns, your Keenan Allens, some seeing some Devontae Smiths in there, your DK Metcalfs. Who do you think in that 10 to 20 range is a sure thing? And who do you think might – Garrett Wilson's also in that grouping as well. So who do you think is a sure thing? Who might cost you a championship this year in that little range right there?
I'm really high on Garrett Wilson this year. I think his biggest problem that was being held back was not getting accurate throws to him. And what I'm seeing out of Aaron Rodgers is
just landing right there.
All I needed to see was that. And fuck that linebacker, man. Fuck him, man.
He came back and said something today. He said he was reacting to a late hit. Cobb. Yeah, that shit. I mean, he got to stand up for his team, bro. I don't give a damn who you are, Aaron. I don't give a damn who you are.
I think Garrett Wilson is going to be a good pick because I was nervous where they had him. I was like, I feel like that's a little high. But I watched training camp. I watched not the Hard Knocks. I watched the training camp and they look on the same page and they're next to each other all the time.
Talking. You know how he is. He force feed his boys. Yeah. Jordy, Devontae, now him, he will give you the football.
He will, and he puts it in the right spot every time. I like him. I like Chris Olave a lot. I'm really high on Chris Olave.
He's another one.
I think he's just young, healthy, and a stud. And I'm trying to think who else you said that was on that list within that bracket of 10 to
Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allens, Chris Olave.
Oh, AJ Brown, was he on there or no?
AJ Brown and Amon-Ra too.
I think I'm a raw I like, but like I don't think he's gonna be like, he's going to be up there, but he's just he doesn't woo me like these others.
Last year was sustainable. Like he's going to continue on this hot streak that he's been on.
Yeah, I think he's going to keep going. But I
who
think
would you rather have, him or AJ Brown?
AJ Brown any day of the week.
Okay, so it got to me in the second round, and I had him or AJ Brown to choose. I was like, I'm gonna just take my boy. I'm taking AJ Brown.
I won a championship last year with AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson on my team. So. Yeah, it was insane. But I'm high on AJ Brown. Busts, that's a tough one for me to try and think. Oh, Javonte Williams, that's another guy I think is going to be a good sleeper pick.
Ooh, thank you. I like that. I picked him.
And you're going to think this is weird for me to say this too, but I like Khalil Herbert. I like Khalil Herbert.
I don't think it's weird. I think that's spot on.
I think that's a sleeper. Like if you need a running back, I think he's been hungry and ready to go, and he's very content, and that's why I like his character.
Another one I like real quick, Darren Waller in New York. I like that one.
Okay,
because he's an older receiver that they got. Like I don't care, Hodgkins and Hyatt, they're all young. The way their offensive line is, they ain't got time to be throwing that ball down the field. They didn't get that ball to that tight end or that running back. I think Darren Waller is going to eat. I think he's going to eat this year. So
let me hear what you got for bust. What do you think would be a good bust or a bust that you're looking at?
Oh man, that was tough. To me, it's like all these. It's going to be a receiver because the running backs, for the most part, you kind of know where they're going to be. So then you start paying attention, like tight end or wide receiver, right? Tight end you can never really put too much stock into because you know who the top dogs are going to be, and then somebody's going to shine, and then everybody's going to kind of be association. Like Kyle Pitts last year was a bust. Now, I don't know if I don't know what to think of that offense. I did draft Bijan Robinson in the first round. I said, I'm going to do it because he's not going to be there in the second round. So I got to do it now. But I don't know what Kyle Pitts is going to be. But as far as bust, I mean, just kind of based on where people are getting drafted. I mean, I did think Garrett Wilson was a little high, but he's not high enough to be like he's a bust.
I think Drake London is very high for where he should be.
Drake London is definitely one for me because I get it. You know, he looked good, on the field, and he knew what he was doing. But they're a running team, and they went from Mariota to Desmond Ridder. It's not like they went and got a quarterback. They just got the same shit younger. So, and they drafted Bijan Robinson in the top 10. You know what the hell they're about to do. They still got Tyler Algier from last year. They still got Mr. Swiss Army Knife in Hopkins, not Hopkins, Cordell Patterson. So it's like I can't trust any receiver in that group, including Kyle Pitts, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I think that's a good one right there for sure. I mean, Mike Williams, he's gonna get hurt. I just know he is. So, out of the rookie quarterbacks, which a spinoff of that, Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers. All right, I'm going with Zay Flowers. No. Outside of Zay Flowers, because we know he's gonna be a boy. We know he's gonna be that dude. Jackson Smith, Quentin Johnston, and Jordan Addison. Like, who would you? And is there a sleeper that I'm not even talking about? That's a rookie receiver.
No, I think Jordan Addison would be the one, not because he's a USC boy, but I just like the potential that he has there. I just don't feel like who's the 2 receiver that they have there in Minnesota? Yeah, I don't feel like
they cut Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, who cares?
Crazy.
But I think Jordan Addison is sitting pretty, and I think that Kirk Cousins mustache looking like a Viking is definitely something we're gonna need to pay attention to if we get good play out of that.
Here we go. But yeah, he's getting them feeling routes, so the targets are gonna be there. Like
Thielen. You know who I think? Is the guy we needed last year, who's gonna be a rookie this year, is Michi for the Texans.
I would say that, but the problem is that team is still not ready, and they still got a lot of veteran receivers already. Like Nico Collins has already been there. Robert Woods, Bobby Trees. We talk about serviceable. He's going to be serviceable. He's going to be the veteran and the grown up in the room, so they're going to trust him. They got Dalton Schultz, who obviously made Dak Prescott look way better than he was, and they're going to run the ball because it's DeMeco Ryans and his defense to run the ball. And then they got young man Damian Pierce behind there, and I think they're going to try to protect Chris Olave. So I don't think not Chris Olave, CJ Stroud. I don't think there's going to be a receiver that he's like, okay, I'm going to target you all the time. The system's going to play itself out. Like, you give it to this guy here, you give it to this guy here, and it's going to be yes sir. So I think I've done a mock draft where I picked him in the last round in every single mock draft. So I will draft him in the last round, or I'll pick him up on the waiver wire before he does anything, and I'll sit on him for a little bit. But I'll still want to see that offense really kind of do something for me personally. So I don't know.
Okay.
Will Jonathan Taylor end up being a bust?
We don't know. I don't want to label it, but it could happen. Could happen.
Damn.
Go get his backup.
Jackson. Which one though?
Deontay Johnson, I think is his name.
No, it's Deontay Jackson, I think. Hold up.
Yeah.
But there was this dude that I think Mike Florio was talking about. And I think his last name is Huff, if I'm not mistaken. So it's Deion Jackson and Evan Hull. And I guess Evan Hull has kind of been looking kind of impressive in camp. And then Zach Moss is going to be back. I don't know. That was tough because you should expect to pick one of them, but like who? It's like I don't know.
Doesn't hurt to gamble and just take one just in case.
Yeah, it's like you look at all the teams in the NFL that were trying to trade for Jonathan Taylor, and the one team that needs Jonathan Taylor the most is the Indianapolis Colts. It's like after him, they got nobody. All these other teams like Denver, they already got Javonte. Mattinson's up in Minnesota. He's pretty decent. Miami got hella running backs. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Philly, we don't need another running back. The team that needs him the most is the team that doesn't want to pay him. So the whole shit is all backwards for me.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
When you do drafting, when you draft your team,
yeah,
are you like cookie cutter by the book, like this is my style, or are you a type of person that likes to create panic?
So I used to have a style back in the day, and my style started to kill me. So I was like, yeah, I can't go off of how I do it anymore. I'm just gonna go, because like everybody has like their thing. Like I'm gonna go zero RB, or I'm gonna go this. Like everyone has their style they want to go, but the draft board is gonna change because it's not gonna play out how you mocked, no matter what you think is gonna do. I mean, my draft I just did for work. I mean, Patrick Mahomes went 13th overall. Like, not saying that he's not worth it, but damn, like 13th overall. So it's, we got to hold the brakes a little bit, with trying to stick to something and let the board play to you. So that's kind of been my approach now is I'm going to just see what happens. Now, if you can fall into this trap of like, I got 4 receivers and I got no running backs left, I should probably take a running back here. But sometimes you got to just take the best player on the board. So that's what I've been trying to lean towards that more a little bit. A combination of like, I got to take the best player available, or I look down the list. I'm like, damn, there's still a few more guys I don't mind waiting on. I can't get them here. So I'm going to take the second best guy available, since this is not a position of need for me right now. So there's really never no constant style for me. I just kind of just let that shit play out.
I strike fear. I'm not scared to take a defense quick.
Bruh, y'all be tripping, man. I'm like, man. I mean, I've done it before. Where I drafted Justin Tucker in the 13th round.
you create panic, and people will start following.
That happened with some quarterbacks. When Mahomes went, the quarterback started falling off the board. I was like, bruh, that's how AJ Brown felt to me in the second round. I was like, bruh, AJ Brown's still here. And Amara Brown was still on the board too. I was like, damn, this is crazy. So yeah, the board's gonna do what the board does. I don't want to be like that guy that's like, oh, I'm about to take Justin Tucker right now. Like, what's his boy GP does that shit. He's a Rams fan. He'll take like Van Jefferson in the 4th round. I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
No, let him do that.
He took Greg Zuerlein in the 7th round. He's like, I'm taking Greg Zuerlein. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? But hey, sometimes it works, bro. You got Cooper Kupp and Greg Zuerlein and Cam Akers.
Here's my thinking behind that. If you can get a guy that can kick you 60-yard field goals and get you extra points, and get the best kicker, and then you can get the best defense in San Francisco, who's going to play
20 points.
Yeah, and they're going to see the Rams and the Cardinals 2 times a year and beat the shit out of them probably. It could be working.
Guaranteed 20 to 30 points off the rip. To start your week off, you got 30 points.
And my favorite thing about that is when people say you're reaching for things. Those are the ones that are doing the homework.
They're the ones that the player that you wanted, though.
And then they end up getting like, I don't know, New York Giants defense or something like that. And you're like, is that the defense you really wanted?
Is that the defense you wanted? Is that what you mock drafted with? No, I don't think so. That's why I said, look, Bijan, I can wait till the second round and you won't be there. So yeah, I reached. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I reached. I need him right now, boss. Like, I wanted him on my team right this second. So I didn't feel any type of way about that. But hopefully, just speaking about like league winners, I wouldn't say he's a league winner because he's gonna go where he's gonna go. But it's hard to say who a league winner would be. Like, I do love Javonte Williams. I think he could be a league winner. Man, Jalen Hurts can be a league winner off just the strength of who he is. Anthony Richardson could end up like, I don't think Anthony Richardson is a good quarterback, but I think fantasy-wise, how Justin Fields last year kind of just blew up, he's going to have that type of that kind of second half of the season where he's just running for 80 yards, throwing for 140 yards, 3 combined touchdowns, and that's a good game. That's a fantastic football game in fantasy numbers. So, Justin Fields, how many yards he ran for last year? Like 800, 900 yards? Like, damn. So he won people a lot of games. So I think Anthony Richardson in the second half of the season, especially, is going to really be like, all right, I'm taking off now. Especially if Jonathan Taylor wants to be there. Well, we'll see what happens there. If Jonathan Taylor's not there, all them goal line carries, Anthony Richardson, all them short conversions, you know what I mean? So I think like that. Tight end, right? outside of the big three, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, and who we consider third? Hockenson?
I would say Hawkinson.
Okay, so yeah, so those big three. Who do you think?
Waller.
Who? Okay,
Waller.
Take Darren Waller out. Somebody that people are not probably talking enough about.
Frymuth.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be straight. I like this Okonkwo dude in Tennessee. He had some games last year, and what's his name is hurt. What's that? Treylon Burks is hurt, and somebody who could be a bust for you is DeAndre Hopkins.
I know my perfect one for tight end sleeper. The one for the Broncos, Dietrich or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Your boy.
The connection will be there. You can
look
see
at his numbers when he came in from injury last year, and they just shipped out the other tight end that was there
to us. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're right. I think I can see that with him. But yeah, no, Darren Waller for sure is going to be one for me. So I made sure I targeted him. And then Sam Laporta, Detroit. I like him.
Iowa boy.
His preseason, I was like, bro, I look nice now. And Jameson Williams got 6 weeks. I drafted him too. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just wait on him. If he plays, it works. So I'm gonna take that.
I got him too.
And take Bigsby. And Jalen Warren.
Let's see.
That's all I got.
Fun fantasy names.
Damn, man. I've seen a few.
What's yours this year? What's your fantasy name this year?
So for this team, because I got 3 teams I'm doing. So this team, and then my two drafts are going to be on. My next 2 drafts are going to be on Sunday. For this team, I picked To Infinity and Bijan.
I like that.
I like that one. I was like, I like that. So, but I've been seeing some funny ones. Somebody said like keep your friends close and be enemies closer, some shit like that.
I like that one. I saw that one. I saw Hot Chub Time Machine.
Yo, so you know Adam Chin?
Yeah,
that's been his fantasy football name for like the last 5 years. Hot Chub Time Machine.
I love me some Nick Chubb, pause. And Aston TDs, I saw that.
Obi-Wan Mahomie.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. Mine this year for this league is Ayahuasca Fun Time. That's mine.
Name for the fantasy football team. Ayahuasca Fun Time.
That's mine.
If I had one, mine would probably be like something Georgia Bulldog and Eagle related. I don't know. I got to figure that out. I got to figure out a little name to go with all of them. I don't know. But no, there's some good ones. But no.
So my next league I'm in, we have to go. Our rule for the fantasy league name is we have to go on Urban Dictionary and find like the grossest thing in the world, and that's the name of our
Blue Waffle.
No, even worse than that, man.
No, there's nothing worse than Blue Waffle. Please, guys, do not. I repeat, do not Google that. Don't do it.
Mine last year was Ass Bass. You got to look and see what it is, though.
No, I'm good. I don't need to see that. I definitely don't need to see that. Knowing if you say that's worse than Blue Waffle, I don't need to see that.
Pretty bad. But that's my league rules in that one. So my fantasy baseball one is Phoenix Riot Shield. Don't look that up.
Are there any punishments any of your leagues are going to be doing for last place?
So my work one is thinking of a really, really bad one. They want us to sit like with a sign on the corner of what is it, State Road 54, and like hold something out there. I was like, I feel like that's a little bit too much, but
no, we did that in GP's league. We did that for J Dot. He had to stand on the corner by USF. He had to do like a combine wearing like a little what do you call that, costume bullshit, and he had to stand on the corner of Fowler, busy ass Fowler, and like 56 or something like that, holding a sign, I suck at fantasy football.
So I've heard some good ones. I mean, in my other league, we usually just we give a license plate that says fantasy football loser and decals to put all over your car. And you have to wear that to next season all over the car.
I like that.
We used to have the other one wear a tiara and take a picture with the last place trophy and things like that. This one in my work league, my friend gave a good one. He was like, you have to spend 24 hours in a Waffle House and
hell no.
And the only way you can get out is if every waffle that you eat shaves time off of the
hell no.
There.
That's called torture. That's some concentration camp shit. What the hell y'all doing over there?
They were talking about getting tattoos. I was like, I'm not getting a tattoo of anything. I'm sorry. That's
concentration camps, bro. I'm good on that. And you shouldn't be scared. You're not gonna finish in last place, A-Rod.
No, I'm not. My team is way too good. I'm looking at it unbiased, looking at all the other rosters, and like when I tell you my team is complete, it's very complete. It's very complete. Like starters on the bench too, type stuff.
I would say the thing I hate about my team is that I have too many. If it works, players like, oh my god, if it hits, like my starting lineup, they all gonna hit. I feel comfortable, but I don't have the depth that like you have established talent on your bench where you're like, damn, who do I play this week? Like I have a lot of like Quentin Johnson, Michael Thomas, Jameson Williams, Jalen Warren, Jacoby Myers, who I'm gonna drop. So
all right, here's my team. I'll rattle it down real quick. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, Tyreek Hill,
of course,
Pickens, George Kittle, Alexander Madison, Mike Evans, Harrison Butker, Jets, and then the bench is Purdy, Herbert, Beckham, Jameson Williams. I took a rookie and I took Jalen Hyatt, and I got the Saints defense. So feeling really comfortable with that team right now.
I wanted Jalen Hyatt. I was like, the speed. I like the speed. I'm like, so that's why I picked Jameson Williams. I'm like, I just gotta get somebody speedy on my field, on the bench, because when he gets back, you know, they just want to air that bitch out anyway. They're gonna have him in the backfield. They're gonna have him all over the field. So I'm like, maybe this hits, take some pressure off of Amon-Ra. See what happens. And then Quentin Johnson, we know Mike Will's gonna get hurt at some point. Keenan Allen might follow him. So that's somebody who could win you a championship at the end of the year when both of them are hurt. So that was my logic there. But we'll see. I still got Jonathan Taylor. I'll still try to trade him to a sucker and see what happens. That's all I got.
All right. Only thing I want to touch on before my background today is Jason Dominguez. The Yankees are finally putting in the farm squad. So we'll see what happens with him and Austin Wells, our catching prospect, number 8 in the pipeline. So I don't give a fuck anymore. The Yankees are done. We just got rid of Josh Donaldson, thank God.
What a world that we're living in right now.
You're telling me, but we're bringing up the farm, and I like seeing that. I want to see the talent these kids have because they could easily replace the big contracts that we have out there. So that's definitely a big thing for me. But let me take it home. You can find us on Twitter. X at fair_weather_pod. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Search the Fairweather Podcast. And wherever you subscribe or listen to podcasts, you can catch the audio there. Words of wisdom.
Man, so I went to Houston this weekend for my sister's birthday and to talk to my parents about some stuff with the wedding and stuff like that. And I went there in a bad mood and I left very enlightened. Unfortunately I did lose my grandmother over the weekend. I haven't really been vocal about it. Yeah, it was very sad actually. So I'm coping well, doing well. Just thinking about all the happy stuff. And I feel like I've taken over this role of like trying to be like I think I'm finally taking on this role as being like the head of the family. Like I got to take this thing over because like I feel like they needed me. So I feel like I had a purpose this weekend. But it just goes to show, like I never knew that the last time I spoke to my grandmother was going to be the last time I was going to speak to her. So like, you never know when that last conversation is going to be with somebody. Just make sure, don't leave that shit on bad terms because like you're gonna be a lot more hurt when you realize that was the last thing I had to say to them. Damn, you know what I mean? So that's all I got, man. Just tell people you love them. It's never that serious. It's never that serious.
I agree. To lift up this situation a little bit, will there be fufu at the wedding or no?
No.
No Nigerian food?
Probably not. But we are getting there again in January at the Nigerian wedding in Houston. So there will be some over there. But that's all my parents doing. They're taking care of all that. So that's out of my control. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But on mine, probably not. But I did go food tasting and the shit was fantastic. Fantastic.
Good. I thought it looked good. So
all right, y'all. Peace.